Well, hey there, everyone. It's your good friend Eric. Welcome to the Leading Edge Podcast, episode number 42. This one is called The Easiest Emotion. I'm going to get to what that emotion is here in a moment. But as I always do, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for engaging with this podcast, being a part of this. Guys, it's exciting. We are just shy of 3,000 downloads to this podcast. That is pretty cool. I never imagined that something like that would happen, and so I am super grateful for all of you for being a part of this, and something that would help me out. I'm going to ask for your help. If you listen to this on iTunes, would you mind giving me a review? There are a handful of really, really nice reviews there right now, and if you haven't left one there yet, I would so appreciate that. That would mean the world to me. Would you give me a podcast iTunes review? That would be extra cool. Speaking of cool, I have so many cool things happening in my life right now. I have some really exciting things happening in my company. We're about to move into a brand new office space. It's so exciting. It's a cool location. We're doing some really exciting work to it right now to make it look really fresh and exciting and hip, and it's just going to be a wonderful space for all of our people to work. I have some cool things happening in my personal life. Namely, the girls and I, Team Blonde and I, we're going skiing this weekend, so I cannot wait for that. So right now, it's good to be me. Most days it's good to be me, and it's certainly good to be me right now. And I also am, speaking of cool things, I love doing this podcast. I love engaging with all of you. I love the feedback I get. I love the engagement that I get. So again, this one is called The Easiest Emotion. And we're going to have some fun with this one. And the easiest emotion the specific emotion we're going to talk about is gratitude. Okay, we're going to talk about gratitude and why it is the easiest emotion, certainly a powerful emotion, an important emotion, something that really drives a lot of terrific, wonderful things in people's lives is the feeling of gratitude. First off, let's all agree on something, okay? Let's all agree on a dynamic that is true for all human beings, and there's a lot of research behind this. And the dynamic that I'm talking about is that feelings drive actions, and actions drive results, okay? So we can agree on that, right? So when you have a certain feeling, it's going to cause you to have a certain action, and of course, it's actions that drive results. So if you run that backwards, if you think about the results that you're getting or not getting, it's all driven by actions, right? What actions did you take or not take that produced that result? Well, then you think, okay, so what drove the action in the first place? Well, what drives actions are feelings. So for example, if you feel confident, you're going to act a certain way, versus if you feel confused, you're going to act a whole different way, right? And oftentimes when we're confused, the action is to do nothing, all right? If we feel energized, we act in a certain way. If we feel depressed, we act in a certain way. If we feel down, if we feel angry, if we feel in the dark, if we feel let down, right? Those are all going to produce certain actions. Whereas when we feel enlightened, empowered, clear, courageous, right? Those all produce way different actions. So you guys with me on that? So again, feelings drive actions, actions drive results. So if you want to produce some different results in your life, look at the actions that you're taking. And if you want to take certain actions, run that back to the feeling. So what feeling must be instilled in you to create the certain action? So what that leads to then is the feeling of gratitude, right? And so think about when you feel grateful, and you're just like totally embodying gratitude, feel so grateful. What kind of actions does that produce? Well, that produces some really wonderful, terrific actions, which then will lead to wonderful, terrific results. I've spoken before about the importance of gratitude in my own life and how I've built that into my morning routine. And just as a quick refresher on that, part of my morning routine is I write down every single day what I call my grateful fours. which is specifically 4 things I'm grateful for that day. So I have a journal. I write several things, including my grateful for. So every single day I'm writing down 4 things I'm grateful for because I know the importance of the emotion of gratitude, the importance of the feeling of gratitude. Number 1 on that list of 4 things, number 1 on that list is always my wife. And I write down a specific reason why I'm grateful for that day, for her that day. Number 2 are always my kids. Again, I write down a different reason every day and why I'm grateful for them. And then number 3 and 4 are different for me every day. There are a lot of things that repeat. So I often am writing about, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful that I live in Colorado. I love living where I live. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my family. Those are common themes that come up. I'm grateful for the people I get to work with and engage with. I'm grateful for you and all of the listeners to this podcast, right? So I build gratitude into my life. So I want you right now, let's do a really quick exercise. And the exercise is this. Right now, just think about, and you may have been thinking about this already, think about what's one thing you're grateful for. All right, just real quick, what's one thing you're grateful for? Is it something in your personal life? Is it a friend or family member you can think of, a spouse, child, a parent, uncle? So maybe it's someone who's passed on that you're really grateful for. Is it something in your business? Maybe you have something really fantastic happening right now in your business. Maybe there's an awesome person that you work with. Maybe there's a mentor that you have had or have right now, a coach, a leader who's had a major impact on you, a really great friend at work. And then maybe it's a great friend outside of work. Maybe it's a childhood friend, someone that you've known forever, right? Someone that just knows you better than anyone, someone you could just totally trust and rely on. Maybe it's a newer friend. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's a pet, right? All kinds of things that you could be grateful for. And so you've thought of one thing. And let me ask you this. How hard was it to come up with that one thing? Like, how long did it take you to come up with the one thing that you're grateful for? I would guess it didn't take you all that long. I would guess that it did not take you more than a couple seconds to come up with the one thing that you can be grateful for. And so that comes to my point and why I call this the easiest emotion. Gratitude is the easiest emotion for a few different reasons that I'm going to take you through. And we're going to start with the number 1 reason. The number 1 reason that I call gratitude the easiest emotion is because it's the easiest to tap into. It is the easiest emotion to instill in our body. It's the easiest emotion to tap into. And what I mean is it requires the least amount of work. And I was really thinking about this. I was thinking about other emotions that we may have and how much work is required to get that emotion going inside of us. And I would argue, I would debate with you that gratitude is the easiest emotion. You can go there the fastest. I even think in today's world, with so much entertainment available to us, I even think that gratitude is easier than boredom. You can feel grateful much easier than you can feel bored in today's world. But put gratitude up against anger or frustration. Like you have to work at anger and frustration. You have to actually work at depression. You have to work at being frustrated and down in the dumps, right? You have to work at that. Whereas you can get to gratitude super fast because there are so many things that there are to be grateful for, right? Especially living where we live, living in the time where we live. So the reason number 1 why gratitude is the easiest emotion is because it's the easiest one by far to tap into. All right, you guys with me on that? And hey, feel free to reach out to me if you want to debate this or talk about that one more. But I would argue again that gratitude is the easiest feeling to tap into. Second thing that I think about as I think about gratitude being the easiest emotion, it's the easiest way to get out of a funk. Okay, have you ever been in a funk? Maybe you're in a funk right now. I hope you're not, but we've all at times been in a funk. It just happens, unfortunately. And if you want to get out in short order, go right to gratitude. Gratitude will instantly, I've found, and from visiting with other people about this, gratitude will instantly get you out of a funk. So what is a funk? a funk really is about feeling sorry for yourself. It's like feeling the world isn't being nice to me. I'm not getting what I deserve. Woe is me. Why is this happening to me? The world is just raining on me. Why is the world, the universe so mad at me right now? I don't deserve this. All those kind of things where you're just ultimately really feeling sorry for yourself. As I was putting notes together for this podcast, I was thinking about the Prince song, and some of you may be Prince fans. You may have at least heard the song. The song is Pop Life. It's a really awesome song. And there's a line in that song that says, is the mailman jerking you around? Did he put your $1 million check in someone else's box? And that line just came to my mind. Did your $1 million check end up in someone else's mailbox when it should have gone to yours, right? Are you in that funk? You feeling sorry for yourself as the world not being nice to you? Well, if you want to instantly get out of that unhealthy place, that unproductive place of feeling sorry for yourself, go right to gratitude, right? And again, it does not take much energy to go to gratitude because there are so many things to be grateful for. So I know for me, if I find myself in a funk, the way to pull myself out is to get conscious of what I'm grateful for, and even better, write down what I'm grateful for. So just pull out a notepad and start making a list of all the things in your world that you are grateful for, and you will not be short on items that you can put on that list between people and things and environment and all the wonderful circumstances that are in your life that you can be so grateful for. Then you're going to be able to have some perspective on your life, and you're going to see that yes, indeed, you have just been kind of feeling sorry for yourself. It's time to pull yourself out of the funk. So gratitude is the easiest way to get yourself out of a funk. The next one, and I kind of alluded to it just a moment ago, is that gratitude is the easiest way to get your life, to get things in perspective. So this kind of relates back to feeling sorry for yourself, but oftentimes we just need a little perspective, right? When we're kind of just focused on ourselves and our own world, and maybe you're feeling like things aren't going the way for you that you think that they should be going, let's have a little perspective, okay? And gratitude can create perspective, again, because there's so many things that we can be grateful for. And where I'm going with this is there's some very simple, basic things that we can be grateful for, things that can be very easily taken for granted, okay? There are lots of things that we have in our life that we have access to because of where we live, because of the time that we live in, that can easily be taken for granted, that a lot of people, even living today, don't have. For instance, do you know that only 57% of all the human beings living on planet Earth today, 57% have running water, all right? So 43% of human beings living on planet Earth today don't have access to running water. So what if we started with running water? All right, what if we started with being grateful that in the morning I can turn on the faucet and get a drink of water and brush my teeth really easily. I don't have to go hike down to a water source, a river or lake, to get running water, and that may not even be clean, right? So 57% of human beings have access to running water. Can we just start with that? Get grateful for running water. How about this one? 80% of people on planet Earth live on less than $10 a day. 80% of people on planet Earth live on less than $10 a day. If you're listening to this, you live on way more than $10 a day, all right? Your Starbucks approaches that, right? Every single day. So let alone the fuel that you're burning in your car, the food that you're eating, the cost to live in your home, whether it's rent or mortgage, right? Your utilities, right? And so this is not about feeling guilty for those things. Celebrate those things, but just don't take it for granted that you have access to all those things. You're 20% of the people on planet Earth that can live on more than $10 a day. So let's take nothing for granted. Now, in the same breath, I want to be clear as we go through this, This does not mean that we're settling, right? We're not going to ever settle. We're not going to be okay with or accept things that aren't right or that aren't up to our potential, that aren't up to our standards. That's different, right? That's different than feeling grateful. So I don't at all mean that we're just going to settle only for running water and just be cool with that. No, we're going to strive for more, create more, have more impact, right? Create an amazing life for ourselves and for other people. So we're not settling, but this is just about putting things in perspective. So just think about today in terms of this theme of putting in perspective. Just think about today of everything that's possible for you. Think of all the things that are possible for you, given where you live and the time that you live in and all that we have access to. So in my grateful fors that I write down every day, oftentimes I'm writing down the word opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity I have because it is boundless. It is endless. I have so much opportunity. We have so much opportunity today, given the time we live in and where we live and all the things that we have access to and all the ways that we can touch people literally all over the world. One of the amazing things that blows my mind about this podcast is it's all over the world. The platform I use for this podcast, I'm able to tell where people are when they download it. And it's mind-boggling to look at people literally all over the world. It's not just people in my backyard, literally all over the world are tuning into this. That is really cool. That reminds me of what's possible. It reminds me of opportunity. So we've gone through a few so far. Gratitude's the easiest emotion to tap into. It's the easiest way to get out of a funk. It's the easiest way to put things in perspective. It's also, and this is next, it's also the easiest way to drop a grudge. It's the easiest way to drop a grudge. Do you ever find yourself holding a grudge against people that you really do care about? Okay, so right now I'm talking about people that you care about. We'll get to people that you don't care about as much in a moment, but think about people in your world that you really, really care about. It's people in your family. It's people, your close friends. And are there times that you sometimes hold a grudge against them? Or sometimes those people, the people that can most easily push your buttons, right? We all have those people in our life that we really care about, that are dear to us, that are close to us, that are important to us. But sometimes they push our buttons, and sometimes they push them so far that we can start to hold kind of a grudge against them, okay? So maybe it happens with you, with your spouse. I'm lucky, Julie and I hardly ever fight or have disagreements, and we're really blessed that way. And I think I'm really lucky that way, but I know that sometimes in a marriage, of course, there can be disagreements, right? That can even go as far as having a grudge. Sometimes it can be a parent, right? I think sometimes parents can be good at pushing our buttons. They don't do it intentionally, but they just do. I know I do it for my kids. So parents can sometimes push buttons. So whether it's a parent or a spouse or a great friend, the way to get out of that feeling of holding a grudge against them or feeling kind of bitter against them or being frustrated against them, flip it to gratitude, right? Flip that to gratitude. Because you care about them so much, there are things that you are grateful for about that person, right? There's something about them or things that they've done for you. It could be a part of their personality that you're really grateful for. There could be all the times in your life where they were there to help you out and support you and have your back. They were ultimately the last ones that you could go to if you're having a hard time. Get grateful for that. Or maybe you're grateful for the fact that if something like that were to happen, if a tough time were to come along for you, that you could always rely on them. So sure, they may be pushing your button right now. They may be kind of frustrating you right now, but you know what? They're the ones that are going to be there by your side. So flip that to gratitude. Go get grateful for that. Get really conscious about what it is about them that you love and adore, that you appreciate, right? And that you feel so grateful for. You will find yourself dropping that grudge. My good friend Dave Dornan told me about this line that I love related to a grudge. And this comes from Buddha. I haven't read this myself, but Dave told me about this. But Buddha says that a grudge is like a hot stone that you hold close to your chest, waiting for the person to walk by so you can throw it at them. Right? Isn't that good? But meanwhile, what's happening is you're holding that grudge, waiting for them to walk by. well, you're getting burned yourself, right? Your chest is burning, your hand is burning as you're holding that hot rock. So we need to drop that hot rock, right? We need to stop burning ourselves. And the way to do that is to flip to gratitude. That's the fastest way to drop a grudge against someone that you really care about. Now, next, let's talk about people that maybe we don't care about as much that are also pushing our buttons. We have those people in our life that are difficult, right? They're difficult to deal with. And most commonly for people, this comes up at work, all right? So in your work environment, sometimes there are people that you have a hard time with that push your buttons, and there you are, you're kind of stuck with them at work. You're not having too much of a choice on if you get to engage, work with them or not. You may not be in a position where you could fire them, or you're just forced into this situation, and they're a difficult personality, and that can be hard. And so one thing you can do, and certainly in addition to setting healthy boundaries and clear expectations and holding your own, again, I'm not saying that we're accepting this person or letting them get away with this behavior. I'm not saying that, but what you can do in addition to setting healthy boundaries and setting correct expectations with them is to be grateful for the situation. All right, you can be grateful that this situation, this person has arrived in your life so that you get to practice those things, right? So that you get to practice setting boundaries and setting correct standards and being clear about what you stand for and being clear about what's okay and what's not okay. We all at times benefit from getting to practice those particular things, right? Would you agree with me on that? And I know this one is harder to get to because that person tends to just drive you crazy, drive you up the wall. Flip that into, you know what, I'm grateful for this situation. It will not last forever because I'm going to set some healthy boundaries, but I'm grateful that this person arrived in my life because clearly they're here to teach me a lesson. All right, what lesson are they here to teach me? And I am going to accept the challenge, all right? I'm going to be grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to practice this. I'm going to get better at this particular thing. I can think about challenging people that I've had to work with in my life, and it does me no good to kind of wallow in my frustration about them or feel sorry for myself or to just sit around and wish that they would just go away or not be in my life anymore. When I can flip that to, okay, they're here for a reason. I can be grateful for that reason, and the reason is I get to practice dealing with people like this, all right? Clearly, the world is saying to me that it's time for me to practice on how to deal with people like this, those that are more challenging. I need to step up and do it. I need to be grateful for the situation. That's the only way I've found to move forward and get that dynamic into a more healthy place. Okay, so that's how to deal with a difficult person. The last one related to why I think gratitude is the easiest emotion. This one is going to be both really cool and also this is going to be a little more woo-woo, okay? So this is actually, there's a quantum aspect to this, but this one is fun to talk about. And there's research around this too, you should know. So it's not just woo-woo. There's a lot of research. I've been reading about this recently. And where I'm going with this is that gratitude is the easiest way to accomplish a big future goal. Gratitude as a feeling, as an emotion, that's the easiest way to set you on a path to accomplish a really big future goal. So I want you to think about something that you have in your life that lives out there as a big time future goal, all right? So for me, what I think about is growth in my company, growth in the number of people that I train and coach and impact and develop, right? So I have some big time goals related to that in terms of the number of people. And so what I'm researching now, what I'm reading about and what I'm finding, and it's so true because I can see evidence of it showing up now already in my life, is that gratitude is the quickest, easiest, most effective path toward that big future goal. Okay, so here's what I mean. Find yourself in a place, or get yourself in a place. Usually it's going to be the morning, sometime quiet, maybe it's driving, but get yourself in a place where you can really visualize that future goal happening. All right, so put yourself in a place as if it's already happened. Like imagine it happening, like there it is. You are experiencing the result so you can both see it and you can feel it. Like you are living that experience. You are getting the sensations in your body about what it's really like to have that thing happening for you. And where you then want to go is know what it feels like to be grateful for that thing happening. All right. Know what it's like to be grateful for that thing. So there you are, visualizing it happening. You can see and feel the result, and then really take on the feeling of gratitude for that thing occurring, where you're saying, oh my gosh, this thing happened. It's my dream come true. I feel so grateful that this dream came true. I feel so grateful for all the things that had to happen. I feel grateful that I was courageous enough to take these certain actions. Grateful for the people that were a part of this, that made this happen, right? When you really embody that gratitude, it puts you in a place where you are fully experiencing that thing happening. So this relates to a really simple formula that you may have heard before. It's called be, do, have, right? So be, do, have. And what that means is you must become the person first, and then you'll do the actions, and then you'll have the results. So it's be, do, have. And a lot of people run that backwards. They think that it's first have, then do, then be. They think, well, I can't ultimately become this person that I want to be until I have the result that is showing me that I am that person. Well, no, you have to become the person first, right? You have to become the person first, and then the result will show up in your life. So the best way to become the person first is to feel the feeling of gratitude as if it's already happening, all right? So this is not fake it till you make it. That's not what I mean by this at all. It's really knowing that feeling of gratitude as if it's already happening. And really what you become then is you become grateful for being on the path that's going to set you toward that thing. So play with that, experiment with that one. Think about that big future goal, visualize it happening, know what it's like, both see it and feel it, and then get to knowing what it's like to be grateful for it, and you're going to feel a shift. Absolutely. I can promise you are going to feel a shift. All right, guys, we went through a few things, gratitude being the easiest emotion. It's the easiest emotion to tap into. It's the easiest way to get out of a funk. It's the easiest way to put things in perspective. It's the easiest way to drop a grudge, the easiest way to deal with a difficult person. And then the last one was the easiest way to accomplish and put you on a path towards your big future goals. I hope you like this one. Please, again, leave me a review. Also, if you want more training like this, if you want to get even more engaged with this content and with me, go to jointheleadingedge.com. In the meantime, enjoy life on the leading edge. I will catch you in the next podcast. Thanks so much.